Hello everyone, I hope you're well. I'm finding it really hard tonight to vlog about what I want to vlog about because I just don't know how to word it or explain it. It's one of those things where I guess you just know what I mean, but I also don't want it to sound like a massive complaint or a whinge or like I'm being insensitive or whatever. The thing is, things are just really hard, and it's just odd because it's going well. I feel like, you know, everything's kind of on hard mode, but we're on top of it. It's, school's going well. The kids are happy. The house is fine. We've fixed the things that are broken. Obviously, the house flooded. The walls got holes in it. Whatever. That's all fine. We're on top of that. That's going really well. But I feel like the balancing act to keep all that going has just been blooming hard work. It's ridiculous, and it feels like it's taking a bit of a toll on me. But Claire's had it even worse. Like last week, she was working till 1 a.m. On one of the days, which completely wrecked the rest of her week, kind of derailed her. But then she had to stay late other days on duty. She's had difficult cases. She's got a case that's going to court in a couple of weeks, so she's got to prepare for that. They're going to scrutinise the heck out of her. And on top of that, she's dealing with the stuff that I'm dealing with, which is the general trying to chase up the doctors, trying to chase up this SALT, trying to sort the school stuff out. And it's amazing that it's not a train wreck, to be honest. It's amazing that we're not falling apart. We've managed to fit time in that to just kind of try and take it easy and watch some programs and some films. And luckily, like a godsend, my sister sent me a bottle of gin in the post she's got me this monthly subscription thing for 3 months, and the second month arrived, I think it was yesterday. It's already gone. We drank it last night. It's only like a little bottle, but it was gone in one night. But I thought I'd go through the things we've got in place and just little kind of, it's just hard still. It's mad. I feel like I'm quite proud writing lists down. Things that were a nightmare 6 months ago, we've kind of fixed. Like we went to the shops, and rather than it descending into just madness of all the kids fighting each other, it worked quite nicely. They towards the end got a little bit, but it was because we'd basically put Ben in the trolley and Emily was pushing Ollie around in the pushchair, and we were doing our kind of looking at paint and that and involving them in it. And I think at one point Emily said to Ollie that she'd forgotten him, and he got a bit upset that she'd forgotten him when she hadn't. What she meant was, I forgot I was pushing you or something like that, or I nearly walked away. But little things like that don't really matter. They're like day-to-day normal stuff. Going to the shops was fine. Going to bed's become fine. Claire's got a good routine with him. But obviously where that's taking its toll on her is she's spending extra time up there doing it all, and then she has to come down and work until 11 o'clock on her cases and stuff. So bless her, she feels really stretched because he wants to sit with her and talk to her and go through a story with her. She'll do all of the get to bed stuff, and then he has to come down for his hug with us both, and he has to sit there for a minute chatting to us. And we're in that routine now where it's really good. But it means that her evenings are basically come home, we have dinner, then I'm helping her put them to bed, but then I go so they can have their final bit, and then he has to come down. And it's like, by the time that it's all told and done, it's 9 o'clock, and she's starting work again, and she's working till 11, and then going to bed, and then getting up in the morning to go to work again. So that's absolutely rinsing there at the moment. It's pushed even further by these half days. The half days are going really well. School has been going so good, but it's because he's doing half days. So it's like, yeah, it's going well because you're halving the amount of time it could go wrong. What we're finding is that we're at a point where we're struggling to afford to keep paying for that. So Claire's taken half days for 2 of the days this week, and then I think she's doing the same next week. We might be paying for the person to come in next week. Then I've booked off 3 days for the summer holidays to cover some of it, and so I've got to start work late tomorrow and Thursday for the next 3 weeks so that I can take them in, and then Claire's going to pick them up by finishing early, and that's making it all work fine. Like in that scenario, everything's balanced. His routine is perfect, but I don't feel right asking my work for that. I feel really guilty that they're having to let me do this, and as part of that, they're not just losing time. I'm going to stay at work later, meaning that I get home later, meaning I come straight into the routine of getting him to bed, and then I have to sit, keep going until it's time for us to sit and do less. I'm dreading that. It's not even happened yet. I'm dreading that, but it's kind of like it works if we can convince work to do their sacrifices, and they're happy to, but I feel really guilty. It's just a weird one. I feel like we're the burden. It's like for us to cope, we have to burden other people, which is unfair. But because they haven't chosen for like, my life's my life, they're kind of just employing me. It's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit awkward. It feels wrong, but it's stressing me out because I feel like there's other things I kind of need to ask them for, but I'm not asking them for because I don't want to push it anymore. I don't want to say, can I work from home sometimes, or this stuff, because it's just not fair on them. So yeah, that's quite stressful. And Claire's finding that she's pushed her hours into such a weird, deformed way that she can't really shift anymore. She doesn't work Friday, so she can spend like most of that day sorting everything out she doesn't sort out over the weekend, because she could be that flexible. But now she's having to finish early to get the kids from school, so that means she has to start earlier, and it's like, oh, it's just ridiculous. I can't like get it across. Like, I'm really happy that things are going smoothly, and this is the weird way it has to balance. It's like trying to play Jenga with all the pieces kind of dangling at weird angles instead of just putting them together. It's kind of our way of making it work. We mentioned lots last week about the playing outside stuff. I've talked about that a lot lately, and again, that seems to be improving and going well. He's getting used to being out there. But again, it's become, Claire sort of said to me, it's dominating our weekends when we're at home. When we're in the house at the weekend, it dominates because he really enjoys going out and we really want him to socialise and have fun. But it means that one of us has literally got to be stationed watching him at all times, because what we're finding is when it's just him and his friend, they play together really nicely. And when one other kid comes in, it's usually fine. But if any other kids get involved, they start twisting things a bit and turning the dial and making it a bit of a free-for-all. He ended up having another issue with the same kids who kept trying to get him to go to the park and abandoning him the other day. It got to a point where they actually got sent in by their parents because they were being really naughty. Another kid got a drone out and he had a bit of a meltdown because he wanted to go on it and wouldn't listen to me about it. But it just meant that I was sat in the window and every 10 minutes I was up and out to just say to him, calm down, don't worry, come in, So once we'd kind of got over a lot of that, he then starts inviting people over. So it's like, don't bring them into the house as well. So, I mean, he had his friend in, which was lovely. She came in, but then he wouldn't just play. He wanted to come in, sit and watch Netflix, and she wanted to play. And he was just like, I want to do this. And it's like, you've invited someone around. You need to go and do something. So then we're trying to get him to entertain his friend, but he doesn't know how to do it. And it was just, we didn't know how to get him to do it really, because everything we suggested, why don't you play this, why don't you do that, why don't you go on this, why don't you go on that, it was like no. So just the whole weekend has been either us going out shopping and doing stuff that isn't really restful, or us taking it in turns to rest between wrestling with the social aspects. And it just means the weekend's not really been a weekend at all, for like the third weekend in a row, really. I thought it might subside. We're looking forward to the darkness rolling in and it being impossible to play out there for too long. I think that'll be the answer. But yeah, it's just, I don't want it to sound like I'm whinging. I don't want it to be a negative video, but it is taking a bit of a toll. I think it's just physically, mentally, financially, timely, like spatially, whatever it is, just lots. Every aspect has just been kind of dominated lately, and I guess that's normal. I guess you'll all know what I mean, and it's the price to keep things going. It's important that we do, and I'm not trying to. The reason why I found it really hard to do is because I don't want to sound like I'm going, oh, we're such a martyr, because we're not. For God's sakes, like I hate stuff like that. And I'm not trying to say it's like a burden, because it's not. Damn it, it's their lives, our lives. It's all. It's really important, and we could do way more, and we'll do way more, whatever it takes. But it's just one of those things that I've not really talked about that much, that it is weird. It is frustrating. I feel like everything that could be affected by it and asked to bend to help us is being bent to help us, and it's getting to a point where, like Claire earlier, bless her, was looking at, I think a colleague of hers was considering moving to Jersey for some special extra pension, tax relief, cheaper houses, better pay, all of this stuff. And she was like, we should do something like that. Let's just move somewhere like that. And I was just like, that would ruin everything. That would cause so many more issues. But I think she's just looking at any kind of thing that might make life better. And yeah, I mean, I said to her, oh, okay, talk me through it, but I don't want to do that at all, not at all. But I just, it's hard at the moment, and in a weird way, because it's hard because we're on top of it. We can't win, I think, is the issue. That's the pain we're in. before it was hard because I couldn't fix it, and what do we do, and how do we manage this? How do we help? How do we take the pain away? Now we're taking the pain away from there. The way to take the pain away from there seems to be by inflicting it on ourselves to make it balance, and I hope that's an okay way of putting it. I'm worried. This sounds really silly. I'm not trying to, protect myself or whatever. I just don't want to say something that sounds wrong or upset someone, because it's not my intention. I'm just tired. I'm just really tired, and I don't know what else to say about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend because we've got my niece visiting, and it's going to be lovely. I think she'll be a welcome distraction for the kids. They'll play with her. She'll be really entertaining because she's just hilarious, bless her. She's staying with us Friday and Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that. I just hope that, it means that Ollie will stay inside and play with her rather than inviting the whole street into our house. That was the thing as well. He didn't just invite one friend. He wanted them all to come in. And I had to be the really rude dad who just said no. Like right in front of these kids, you lot can't come in my house. Just off you go. Maybe in hindsight, if they'd all come in and played in the garden, it would have been easier. But because he limited himself to one, he didn't know what to do. We did watch a really cool The Last Kids on Earth on Netflix, which was quite cool. We put it on for him, and then I ended up engrossed in it. Claire ended up engrossed in it. He went off to play, and we carried on watching it. It's like for, 10-year-olds maybe maximum. It's a kid's cartoon, but it was entertaining. We enjoyed it. Emily came down midway through and made us restart it, so we watched the first half twice. But if your kids are into sort of monster-y stuff for kids, then it's good. It was fun. I don't really know what else to say. I don't mean this to sound like a whinge. We are happy. We're just tired, and it's been weird. It's a new, not really a problem. It's a new situation, and I don't really know what the answer is here, other than getting used to it. Maybe we'll just build stamina eventually. But right now, it just feels a bit like, I'm tired. I just don't know. I don't know. But yeah, cool. I hope you're all well. We are well, and I mean it. Like, I know it sounds like a whinge. But if you have any suggestions, let us know. That'd be very, very welcome. I hope you're all well. I said that already. I'm going around in circles. I am tired. But yeah, I'll catch up with you all tomorrow. I am still on daily. I know I didn't do one on Friday, but that was because of spending the night with Claire. I hadn't really seen her. Saturday and Sunday, I'm just not doing them anymore because it's too hard to fit it all in. But yeah, I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.